You're Mehdi Zeidvand from Iran, living in Montreal. You're a world champion wrestler. You're a 7-0 featherweight MMA champion. And apparently you do wrestling competitions on the weekends just for fun. How does a guy accomplish so much? I want to know about you, your upbringing in Iran, how you came to Canada, the things you had to give up in order to get to where you are, and the persistence it took.
Wow, that was a lot of questions, and I hope I'm gonna catch up with all these questions. But before I was born, my brothers were a champion in Iran and internationally. So I was born in a sports family, and I was destined to be on this path, and I embraced it. However, I didn't know where this path is leading me, but I was walking in a lot of uncertainty, right? I just take action along the path. Many times I was about to just quit and give up, but I came back. I listened to that inner compass. Nothing was clear, nothing was certain, but I was taking action. My upbringing was so tough in sports, right? Especially in wrestling and in one of the best country, which is Iran, very high level in the world. So every other month we had a competition, and I had to prove that I'm better than them. I am entitled to go to this tournament, and basically 9-10 months out of 12 months, I was in a camp,
Wow.
So, and it was very tough. It's like the condition in the wrestling. And it was physical, mental. Everything was affected by that environment. Led us to move to Canada.
What was the point where you decided to move to Canada, that it was the right move?
Sometimes we make a move, but we don't know we are doing the right things, But at that time, I had to do that because something was calling me. And also, one more thing that I need to add was the injustice of the sport in Iran.
Can you elaborate on that? Maybe with an example?
I never say something bad or something wrong behind someone, but whatever I'm saying is my story, But when I was in Iran, a few big competition was given away from me, and the only reason was I was inexperienced at that time. But how you want to get experience if you're not giving a competition, or if you're not giving a stage to an athlete to grow and get that experience? So I can say one of the biggest reasons that basically compelled me to make that decision was getting the Olympic from me. I was entitled to go to Olympic 2016. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. That was maybe that was a life changing for me if I would go to Olympic, huh?
So what happened exactly?
You know, when I started wrestling,
Right.
the vision I had was becoming a medalist in Olympic. I draw my path to Olympic, and I was this much close to Olympic. I was very close to Olympic. You know what I'm saying? I got goosebumps because I kind of, they said manifestation and this and that. But since I was 6 or 7 years old, it's like something was in my mind, you know. I went to Junior World Championship. I went to Senior World Championship. And Olympic was the last stage of my life, you know. If I had made it, I would say yes. I did it. I won it and I did it, you know. And the next year, World Championship again, and another year, World Cup again, another year, Asian Championship again. So all these competition and reason accumulated on each other to force me to make a decision, to make a change. You know, and I was tired. I was tired of not giving what I am entitled to. So that was one of the reasons that I moved to Canada and start a new journey.
In the MMA world.
MMA world.
Right. Which you're 7-0 in.
I fell in love with it, and I'm still fall in love with it. MMA gave me a new life, a new perspective, a new beauty in my eyes, you know, a new art. You know, I always call myself I'm an artist. Yes, I'm an ordinary person with a lot of art in my eyes. So I always look for beauty, you know. So MMA or mixed martial arts is an art for me. Art of violence, art of discipline, art of aggression, art of softness, you know, art of balance. You have to integrate all these things together to become an elite athlete, elite professional mixed martial artist. You know, with one aspect, you cannot go so far. And you cannot be whole and you cannot be complete. So I see mixed martial arts as a spiritual path. You know, it's to me is so high. This path is so high, and in total, all gyms and sports are sacred for me. You know, and especially what I'm doing, MMA. You know, the MMA environment is so sacred for me. So that's why I respect that a lot. And yeah, I chose and I embraced it. You know, however, it gave me a lot of pain. You know, obviously, I got a lot of injuries. They could have just quit. I popped on my shoulder. I broke my hand, and both shoulders. But because because the love of fighting, because the love of mixed martial art, it kept me in, and I kept going and I kept going, fight by fight. You know, and combat sports, you don't know what's going on next. It's a lot of uncertainty, right? You see that. So nothing was secure and nothing was safe, but I was taking action and I was showing up every day. And I did it.
How do you stay optimistic or positive about the future in an environment that's so uncertain?
It can be developed, in my opinion. Being optimism, it can be developed. However, you see, there is a glass of water. There is empty and there is water, and there is a empty part of glass. How most of people notice how much water is in the glass, right? In our problem and difficulties, we should have the same perspective. You know, you can train your brain to see some positive things in that difficulty and that situation. But how, you have to ask yourself, not how, but what is in this that can teaches me something. I don't know your problem, I don't know anyone's problem, but with this certainty, I'm going to tell you, if you look at your problem and difficulties and ask yourself what it has in it that I can learn something from it. Put the perspective from why to what it has in it. You know, so you again receive something in that problem and difficulty.
There's always a learning lesson.
There is always a learning. And then if you learn and changing the perspective from why to what, you will get close to solution to solve the problem or move through that difficulty or go through that difficulty.
Do you think that a common problem with elite athletes or everyday people these days is that they perceive their own self-value based off of wins and losses versus, like, how do you see yourself? It should be separate from the ups and downs in life.
We are so attached to that thing, yes. We are so attached to that thing. We are so attached to our identity, protecting our face, winning and losing. We are so attached to the outcome of things, anything. You know, you do something for someone, you are expecting an outcome. Someone does their kindness to someone else, he's expecting something from that person. You don't do anything without any expectation of outcome or result. If you do anything just for the sake of doing it, You're gonna separate basically you're gonna detach yourself from outcome. Where your stress come from, where your anxiety come from. It come from your attachment to the outcome and result.
Wow.
And then your brain is always depict the worst case scenario of the result in your brain. So the anxiety come from that. But if you detach yourself from outcome and the result, you're gonna have so much fun and joy in doing that, you know. So basically, if a human put this perspective and put this behavior, you can develop it. I call it behavior because it developmental. You can't build it, you can't develop it. So if you develop this behavior in whatever you're doing, you're gonna do anything and everything with joy. And you're gonna really, really enjoy of doing it.
I believe that.
But again, it takes practice to detach yourself from your identity. You are protecting your identity, right? So you just, I'm an ordinary guy, I'm an ordinary person. I'm gonna do everything without any expectation, and I'm gonna do everything with joy. And I'm gonna enjoy what I do.
When did you learn that? At what age, and what did you have to go through to understand this? Because it's not an easy concept. I mean, it might be easy to hear it,
Yes.
but to
Yes,
practice
yes,
it
practice.
is very difficult.
Yeah.
So how does someone get there?
When I recently hit to bottom line of my life, and no one was around me, I learned in that situation if I build myself up and no one is around me and no one has no clue what's going on with me or in my life, when I build myself up, I know who I am and I know where I come from. And I'm gonna encounter any result that I will achieve, you know. That's why I separated myself from the outcome and result. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I wasn't like this. Because when I was doing wrestling, because it was so competitive. It was so competitive between me and my opponents. And the fear of losing my position, of course I had the stress every day. And I had to be ready for any competition that comes up. And I always look for the best result possible. And I did. And I really did. And really in some competition I came back without a medal. Since I was a kid, 2007 to 2018, right before I left Iran, in most competitions, I got a medal. I was always on podium, with hard work, with really dedication, with discipline.
How does a regional champion and world champion performing at such a high level get left out of the Olympics? What happened specifically? Because clearly you should have went.
Um, it was from the national team basically. They decide who is the best for this competition.
So it's not based off of wins or merit. It's more so just a decision by a small body of who they want to go.
At some delicate cases, like my division, they chose and they decided someone else go to Olympic.
Okay.
Because it was so tight and it was so sensitive selection between me and the other friend or opponent. And he was a gold medal Olympian and a few medalists in world championship. I respect that a lot, and I had honor to compete with him. Very, very, very great athlete, Omid Nourouzi. Very nice guy, hard worker, and very disciplined wrestler. But he got his medals and he retired. But still, I'm here.
You're still going strong.
I was still going.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I am dedicated, to the sport. I am dedicated. And I believe all this experience, all this hard work, all these years that I've gone through is not going to be wasted. And eventually I put all this long journey to structure and to build the next generation, build strong human being,
Before you get there and to the coaching stage, do you have ambitions though to go to UFC or PFL?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
I mean, I've seen your fights. I've been to
Yeah.
your fights, and it's very clear to me.
Yeah.
I'm not Dana White. I'm not Sean Shelby,
Yeah.
but it's very clear to me that they should definitely be
Yeah.
taking a look at you.
Yeah. I am destined. Even if I go away, if I go all around the world, if I go to different planet, I am destined to get there. My style is somehow, I don't say it. Sometimes I come so cocky or arrogant,
It's just belief.
But it's not really belief. So sometimes I don't want to believe in that too, but it is what it is.
Wow.
I'm a straight guy.
Yeah.
I'm a straight person. I like you, I like you. I cannot act, hug you and smile in front of you. I spend so much time alone with myself to respect myself and the people around myself, to whoever I talk to. When I spend so much time with myself, do you think I'm gonna cheat on myself? I'm gonna say something fake to myself? So it's the same thing when I sit down and talk to someone. I always say the truth, even if it's not in my favor. But I say it, and I cannot hold it in my heart. If I hold something, it's gonna turn to filth. I don't want this. But I'm not a cocky person, and I'm not an arrogant person. I can be so mean, but I can be nice too. I don't know, somehow, at some point, I really don't want to believe, but it is what it is.
Mehdi, in such a busy world that we live in, with maybe over socialization, social media, and everyone seeing everyone and what they do and everywhere, do you think it's important? Because you mentioned solitude, you mentioned being alone with yourself. Do you think this is a necessary thing to have to achieve your goals or to grow?
Definitely, definitely. I always say you cannot have everything all together. You cannot divide your ambition, right? You cannot have a nightlife, staying up until 2, 3, 4 a.m. and then wake up tomorrow for your training. Doesn't work. To achieve something, you have to sacrifice something else. That's law.
It's math.
It's math, exactly. There you go. It's math.
And I keep hearing this from people that I interview, high achievers, high performers. The commonality that I keep hearing over and over and over is throughout my life, I have had to say no to so many things that I wanted to do that were fun. I had to say no to friends. I had to say no to going out. I had to say no to go watching a movie. I had to say no to going to a club. I had to repeatedly say no. So it's really powerful.
It is. It is. When when you hear yourself and you really realize who you are, when you have no one around yourself and you have no plan in your mind and you stay still and you sit down with yourself and there is no performing in your mind. So it requires what? It requires solitude.
It's really interesting.
It requires solitude to be like that. To become the Samurai Champion, for a few years, I was in one room and gym, room, gym, room, gym. I chose to be alone, and I chose to sacrifice something to achieve this title. I chose to go through this difficulty, to go through this hardship, to win this fight.
It's really interesting because a lot of philosophers and ancient intellectuals have all talked about the power of solitude, the power of being alone. And I find it amazing that it translates to the fight game as well, which tells me it's a wide spectrum, which tells me it can translate to anything, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a student, a fighter, an architect, whatever you are, right? It's just really powerful.
I believe in that. Even in learning, you want to learn something, say solitude. You want to get a new habit, say solitude. Develop something, say solitude.
What is it? What is it about us sitting alone and just not thinking about external factors, about other people, about what people think of us, just being alone with a clear slate mind? Why? Why does it happen to us? Why do we get better from doing that?
That's a good question. But what I see is your mind, your brain is not occupied with the external world, right? So all you have is what you want to gain. So when you really focus on what you want to gain, what you want to achieve or develop in you, it's you and that things, and automatically you will receive it. Interesting, very interesting. It just so when I moved to Canada, I didn't know to speak English, right?
Wow. And how long ago was that? 2018?
End of 2018.
Wow. Well, your
Yeah.
English is great.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
is. Yeah. For that long.
Um, you know, this is so interesting. I just flashed back to that time. What I was doing, it was Persian in my mind, right? Farsi. And I had no one around me. I always had a headphone in my ears. I woke up 5 a.m., study for 1 hour. At 6, I had to leave to go to work. And late night, I did the same. So I had a headphone and I study English. This is so interesting. And I developed it. After 6 months, I was speaking
You were doing it daily?
daily.
Okay.
For 1 year, I was doing that. And interesting, I didn't go to the school because I had to work and I didn't have a time to go to the school. So I self-studied myself. So work was one part of it, and the study was one part, another part. Two things, that's it. You see, I developed something new in 6 months. So you, in my opinion, to achieve something, to gain something, to develop something, to acquire something, you need that time to be alone with yourself. But the brain loves stimuli,
Right.
especially in modern societies. Everything is open, everything is free.
We're dopamine addicts.
Yes, you know. So since they are a child, everything is free. So it's really hard in adulthood to be disciplined and focus on one thing. That's the downside of the modern societies too. See, that's a problem. But human nature is so complicated and also it's so simple. You give, but you are harming yourself
That's interesting.
in the end.
And it's never too late to change because, like, if you go to the neuroscience level of things, the brain's plastic, right? It's able to stretch in whatever way. I think it's called synaptic plasticity.
Yes, I love that.
Right. And so it's never too late to change a habit, but it takes a lot of effort. And as you get older and you've gotten used to a specific level of dopamine or whatever you do that you want to change, it gets harder, but it's not impossible.
Nothing is impossible. I always say everything is possible. The word impossible says that it's possible, you know.
Right.
I am possible.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Mehdi, you are, of course, a seasoned and unreal wrestler. But I gotta say, man, how did you get so much power in your hands? I don't get it. Like there's guys, I've been in the gym, I've been in many gyms, and you see the guys that are wrestlers, and you see the guys that are strikers, and you see the guys who are jujitsu. But you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
Look at your ears. We all know, right? But your fists, these are dangerous, dangerous hands.
it's raw. This is really funny.
How did this happen, man?
It's really funny. I want to smile and laugh in front of camera, but this is so funny. Wrestling, especially Greco-Roman style, gives you raw strength. since you're a kid and you're a child, you build that strength within you, you know. But again, the coach needs to guide that kid, basically, you know, which I don't see a lot of coaches to push their kids and their students to that level, you know. But Greco-Roman gives you a raw strength. But I believe in that too, yes. I have a lot of power.
I've seen it.
It's a little bit funny, you know.
I think an entire stadium has seen it.
What, I broke the ribs of the guy, my opponent?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a little bit, I was a little bit ungrateful for that moment because I trained so hard.
You wanted more.
I wanted more.
And
But
it ended too fast because of your own power.
yeah, it's like,
That's interesting.
yeah, but still, in any fight can happen. And 1 month later, I watched the fight Max Holloway with Charles Oliveira. Same thing happened in that fight. Charles Oliveira, he broke, I think, his shoulder. But Max Holloway was happy, but I was a little bit unhappy. I always train hard, and I always train for the worst case scenario. So when I go to a fight, it's like war. I have to be prepared for everything. So if he's gonna take me down, if he's gonna put me on the cage, if he's gonna go for wrestling, punch me, if I'm gonna knock down for a moment, I'm gonna get back up. If I'm dizzy, if I get the punch. And then the other side, I see one thing. Either if it's TKO or KO in my side. And it's always happened. How? It's always happened because I want it and I train for it. Yeah.
Mehdi Zeidvand, you have an incredible story, man. It's always a pleasure to see you at the gym at TriStar. Shout out to Faraz Sahabi and TriStar and everyone there.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you for coming on.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. One more thing. You look for surface. I always look for depth. And depth always requires being conscious, and not a lot of people are willing to be conscious because being conscious takes energy, you know, and the brain gets, nowadays the brains of people are so lazy to be conscious and take that energy, so they are saving that energy. But
So you think society is getting lazier?
I think,
yeah, that's a fair assumption, of course, yeah. I can see it.
yeah,
Is it because life's just become too
it's
comfortable?
comfortable.
Right?
And also with new technology and phone and sitting down and doing everything by AI, it's somehow it's good, somehow it's so harmful for the brain. You know, so there is nothing to challenge the brain. But what do you have to challenge your brain? And then I just work and I don't want to challenge my brain, right? So that's why there is nothing to challenge your brain. So it gets
So life's become mundane.
Monday.
I heard someone say a while ago that the opposite of happiness, and I don't know who to credit this to, but the opposite of happiness is not sadness or anger, it's boredom. And I can see that
Okay.
from exactly what you're saying,
Wow.
right?
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
because maybe that's the fundamental truth of sadness, anger, because if you're not bored and you have challenges, like let's think of cavemen, for example. I don't think any of those guys were bored.
No.
Those guys were not. Those guys were hunting some,
Exactly.
and trying to start fires and surviving. Like those guys were not bored, right?
Yeah,
And there's probably not an ounce of sadness,
true.
right? Any anger was probably just momentary when they were fighting something. But other than that,
Yeah.
so yeah, comfort is creating a society of boredom.
Yeah. comfort kills everything, in my opinion.
Comfort kills everything.
Yeah.
That's another recurring thing, a recurring theme I keep seeing as well with high performers is they're not trying to be comfortable.
No,
They want to escape comfort.
that's so true. That's so true. And one thing, to change anything in you, it requires to be conscious. If you're not conscious, you cannot develop something new, and you cannot work on your senior path. You said the neurology.
Yeah.
You say
Synaptic plasticity.
synaptic plasticity.
Yeah. I don't even know what that fully means yet, so don't quote me on it.
No, I know what it is.
I'm trying to understand it.
No, I know what it is
Right.
exactly. But you have to be conscious to change that synaptic plasticity.
Right.
So
It all leads back down to introspection, like just being
Yeah.
alone, solitude, understanding yourself. What are your goals without the distractions, right?
yeah, being solitude and really being aware of your behavior. And you know what? One more thing that two things I am so fascinated. One, neuroscience. Two, philosophy. Three, psychology. These three topics, I'm fascinated by these three topics.
I can tell. Do you have a formal academic background from Iran,
No,
or is this
but-
just
but-
all self-taught?
No, but I have a I have a bachelor of physical education, which is far from these three
It's
topics.
far from but it's somewhat relatable in one way or another, right?
I don't see any relation,
Maybe,
but yeah, it was just self-studied.
You like studying?
Yeah, I love studying.
Yeah.
When I'm curious about something, I'm curious.
Yeah.
My inner child is so fascinated by it.
I noticed that even like 2.5 years ago when we first met at TriStar, just the questions that you were asking me and the questions I was asking back, I was like, this guy's really curious to know things, and
Exactly.
it's appreciated. Like,
I still should understand, and sometimes sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, But I'm so curious, and I want to understand.
when is it not good?
I don't know. I don't. For some people, this is so headache, because I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
I asked you to understand.
I love it personally because if I can't answer something, which I can't 90% of the time, it makes me think of it, or it makes me think about, should I be thinking about this? So I like it personally, but I can see how maybe some people may not.
Well, I like your brain too.
Thank you.
You pick some stuff. You pick some stuff, and I like your brain too. Your brain is sharp too.
I'm curious, just like yourself.
Yeah. That's the secret of life: being curious and being amused.
You said it. I think you said it. It's about almost being a child at heart. You're a forever child.
Yeah.
When we're kids, before iPhones, we would go outside and we would play in parks.
Yeah.
And we would touch trees and we would look at things and we're registering, almost
That's
absorbing,
true.
right?
That's true, yeah.
And if you can continue to do that and not let the biases of adulthood get in the way, right, you might continue to learn.
You know what? This is you say something so interesting, because people are in a rush to be an adult. Have you noticed?
I have.
Act big and this, that, and then.
Shout out to Sam, TriStar Gym, trying to be older than he is.
No, Sam, in the beginning, I thought he's maybe 35, 36 years old.
So does everyone, brother.
I said, how old are you? He said, 19 years old. I said, what the hell? 19 years old.
It's exactly what you said. It's exactly what you said.
And then no. I really love his brain.
Yeah, everyone
he
loves
has
that.
a sharp brain.
Sharp brain.
You know?
But he's rushing.
Oh really? No, I'm not sure. But it's good. It's good to be just ourselves, in my opinion. My experience, when I was 15 years old, I was in a rush to get the senior. Because of the championship, right? I want to compete in senior, but I was in a rush to be an adult. But now I'm an adult. I became so curious, and I have the amusement of a child, and I'm so fascinated by art, beauty. Maybe it's the opposite side of fighting, but again, fighting is an art too. You know, so that's why I love the art of body. It's like the movement, the motion. I'm just curious. I'm just amazed.
Mehdi, it's amazing talking to you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always great to have you.